Hello, Capricorn. For this segment, I'm using the Morgan Greer Tarot for the main read by Paul Foster Case and Arthur Edward Waite with an E at the end. For the Romance Angel cards. For the supportive cards, I'm using the Romance Angel cards by Doreen Virtue. My first thought as I'm putting these down is you're kind of feeling like things are out of order. Things are not happening things are not happening in the time or they're not going into session like they should. I feel like that's my first thought here. That things are not going as they should be. Things are not going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. They're not going in the pattern they should be. I feel like that's the first thing I'm hitting on here. And I feel like you're looking at a situation and you're just kind of like, why are we doing these things out of order? Like, I feel like that's just like the first thing, like, why is this not, like, why are we doing this out of order? Like, why aren't we just doing it the way we should? I don't understand. I feel like that's the first part that's clicking in here. I almost feel like that's kind of how you're going into this part here. Like, when you're stepping into it, you're feeling like things are out of order. And for your first order of business, I almost feel like you're looking at the situation like, how do I put these things back in line so they happen the way they're supposed to? Now, what is going on? I feel like this is, okay. As I always say when the Lover's card pops up, especially with general reads, it can definitely mean a romantic relationship, yes. And in a personal read, that's what I would think it was. But when it comes to general reads, this can double as a very important relationship, somebody who's very close to you, somebody who means a lot to you. That being said, the situation is definitely you and another person. It could be a social thing. I doubt it, though. I'm more thinking it's you and another person. It's an intimate relationship, a very close relationship. Can definitely be a romantic relationship, but most off I'm seeing it's something that's very important. So as we go forward with this, just keep that in mind. This is a very important relationship to you. Something's a little wonky with them. I got the red flags card here. This is right below them. So I feel like there's something isn't right with them. The question is what? Are they overindulging in some type of activity that's causing them to have lack of judgment? I feel like some of these people, I feel like they're not getting enough sleep, or they're like burning the candle at both ends, and it's making their judgment a little awry from what it might usually be. I feel like they're doing too much. Some of them are just doing too much. It's something like that. So it doesn't have to be like an alcohol. It could be, but I feel like it's more like they're not doing well in some sense. They're just not doing well. It could be fatigue for various reasons. There could be other things like gambling, I get in other situations. Poor management of money, things like that. I feel like for some of them, in fact, the way they're handling this situation and how things are out of order, I feel like you could make sense of why their life is a little out of focus and why they're having trouble in certain areas. These are the red flags that you're identifying. And I almost feel like you need to point it out. I feel like you need to point it out, and I feel like you're trying to help them get a more stable pattern. I feel like you're trying to help them get a better regimen so that they can have the strength that they need to do things in a way that would actually work out for them. Okay. I feel like when you come into this time frame, you're noticing this off kilter attitude, or approach to things, these red flags, and you're worried that it could be the worst. Like you're worried that this could be a real big problem, and you're really like searching for answers, trying to figure out what's going on. Excuse me. Sorry. Every time I read lately. Well, the last 2 reads I was okay. I don't know why that started coming in now. All right. Now, when we're coming into this, I really feel like the moon card is in the middle of this section here. This means this is how both you and them are coming together. Things aren't what they seem, but I also feel like things feel a lot worse than they actually are. Things feel a lot worse than they actually are. Okay, that makes a better sense. You're getting involved to this. I feel like you're coming into this and you're addressing it and you're trying to talk with them and you're just kind of like, let's just sit down and let's talk about what you're doing. Let's talk about what you're doing, because I'm noticing you're all over the place and I'm noticing you're having other problems and I'm thinking it's because you're all over the place. So let's just sit down, calm down, have some coffee and talk this through and figure out what's going on. Why are you doing it this way? Like, how are you feeling? Why are you making these decisions? What decisions are you making? Because I'm not here to judge you, but something is really wrong here, and we both know it. Let's just figure out what's going on so I can help you or we can correct this however it needs to happen, because I'm worried about where you're headed. That's basically, I feel like, what you're doing here. This, I feel like when you do this, there's such a relief on their side, not in the sense of like you're lifting the burdens, but like you're acknowledging it and you're trying to help them, and they desperately need this help. They need somebody to step in and say, listen, something's nuts. Something's crazy here. This isn't working. You're doing things that just aren't making sense. And I feel like you addressing it like almost gives them permission to really take a minute to step down and breathe and be like, what is going on in my life? I feel like there's a little bit of fear on their side, because they're feeling like they have to rush and run to keep up, but it's erratic. They're really trying to run to keep up. They're really trying to get in there and just trying to keep it going, and they feel like they have to run from one to the next, but they're making these erratic bad decisions and they just can't seem to get a hold of things, and they're running from one to the next just trying to keep things afloat, just like you're spinning plates and they're just running from one to the next just trying to keep them spinning. You addressing it and saying, let's just sit down and just talk about this, it gives them, almost like you give them permission to breathe. Like for some reason they weren't allowing themselves to give them permission to breathe. They weren't letting themselves slow down because they felt like if they slowed down it would fall apart. But you addressing it, they feel like there's like you're offering help to them, and they're like, I feel like some of them could almost cry because like you're offering a little bit of help, even though it may be just a little help. It's just the world to them, and this is things turning in a better direction for them. You are this person, you're turning the wheel in a better direction for them. So I feel like there's a lot of gratitude right off the bat just by you addressing it and offering a little help. They desperately need this. Okay. Now, this whole section kind of goes together, even though I didn't show you the cards. It's heart-to-heart conversations. Right above that, you got the Two of Rods, which just is looking deep into a situation. In your case, I really feel like it's looking deeply at what's going on and why are you making these decisions? Like, how are you feeling? Are you doing okay? Like what's going on? Are you sleeping well? I feel like a lot of them, it's a fatigue thing, but the question is, where is the fatigue stemming from? Is it lack of sleep? Is it feeling under the weather? Is it some of them? I feel like some of them are trying to lose weight and they're depleting their resources, their body resources so much that it's really draining on them to like it's not a good level. Like they need to eat a bit more. Yes, they'll lose weight slower, but the way they're doing it, it's not good. It's causing bad decisions. They're not having enough energy to go through the day and make things work out. Like they can't think correctly. It's causing problems. They're doing too much with that. They need to eat a little more. They need to eat more. I feel like it's more for most of them, but also better. Like the choices, like I feel like a lot of them are like cutting certain things out of their diet, like certain proteins and things like that the body is having a hard time making up for, and it's conserving things instead of using what they already have stored. What they're eating and how much they're eating is not working. So that might be part of it. And I feel like you might point that out. Be like, you know what? Have a burger. Like I feel like if you're a vegan, I apologize because I feel like that's probably brutal. But like, or have something with protein, or like like really, Rome wasn't built in a day. You're not gonna have that swimsuit body in a month. You're like, just come on, eat something a little more. You got to plan this a little better. That's for some of them, and you'll be pointing that out to them. I feel like you'll address this because I almost feel like if that's the case, when you sit down to have this conversation, it might be over lunch or dinner, and you're going to notice, you're going to be like, why are you just eating lettuce? Like, you're not having, there's nothing here of substance. You just have vegetable after vegetable. You need to have a little something else here. Like, I feel like you're pointing out, like, you need to have some protein. You can't have just things with, like, barely any calories and not eat very much of it. This is what's going to do you in. This is probably why you're having problems. Okay. I feel like this is just kind of like you're addressing. Like, if you're noticing it, you're addressing it. I don't feel like, all right, you might be a little bit like, listen, I see what you're doing. That's not going to work. And you're making bad decisions because your body doesn't have enough fuel to actually supply. I feel like some of them aren't drinking enough either, like water, some fluids. I'm getting a lot of like fatigue, malnourished feeling here. This is the other side. Okay. Red flag. Either way, you're identifying these red flags and you're addressing them. I feel like I'm going on for days. I have to admit, you're the first reading that I've done in this segment that's kind of gone on for a bit, so it kind of makes me feel better about that. But I apologize if I'm kind of beating a dead horse here. All right, so you address this. Now, this part seems to be by itself. As you do that, again, the Lover's card is here. It doesn't, especially with a general read, it doesn't have to mean a romantic relationship. Either way, it's somebody important, as I've said 50,000 times. Probably this one reading alone. Sorry about that. As this is going forward, I feel like you're really empowering them. I feel like for some reason they needed someone else to tell them or give them permission to change direction. I don't know what's going on with that, but I feel like there's a little bit of codependency feeling here. And when you sit down and have this talk with them, and you say, you know what, this isn't working. Try this. Okay, yes, you have that goal, but you know what, you need to be healthy too. So do this. Stop watching that at night. Go to bed 2 hours early. And you're telling that. I feel like if you tell somebody to go to bed 2 hours early, you're saying that because you know if they try to get to bed 2 hours early, they'll probably end up like an hour, maybe a half hour early. But still, some's better than none. I feel like that's what's going on here. You're giving them permission to like change things. It seems a little awkward to me because they should be giving that permission to themselves, but for some reason they feel like somebody else has to give that to them, and you're doing it. But this is a whole other thing with things are erratic, and I don't feel like they're thinking things. I don't feel like they're in the right mental space to make their own decisions for some reason. Either there's some type of malnourishment, fatigue feeling here. I was thinking it was just me, but I'm really feeling like this situation is talking about fatigue and malnourishment, which is making their decision-making ability, it's just not on par, not on point. They're not realizing, or they're not thinking it through the right way. Something isn't on point here. There's red flags, definitely red flags with that. Okay, so as we keep going, I feel like you're keeping with them. I feel like you're touching base. You're seeing how they're doing. You're trying to I feel like you're trying to help them put things back in order in the sense of like, fix this first. We'll keep that going. I'll help you keep that going. Just keep that going where it is. You don't have to change anything there, but let's fix this part first. And I feel like you're helping them pick it apart, like this one section. Let's fix this first. Keep them going the same way. Don't change what you're doing there, but let's look at this and let's rehaul this a little bit. And as they do that, all right, now that's going a lot better. Let's take this next one that's not really working as good as it needs to. Rehaul that a bit. Okay. And I feel like you're having them doing it piece by piece and handling it piece by piece. And I feel like you're also addressing, like, yeah, I know these things aren't working out to their best, But they're continuing on. They're doing okay for now. So we're just going to take one piece at a time and fix one piece at a time. So that way, when we stably have this one going, and you got a new pattern for that, and you're secure in that, we can build from there. Okay, got that one. Let's move on to number 2. All right, let's look at this. This isn't working. Let's move this around. Let's rehaul this. All right, now we got 1 and 2. 1 and 2 are building together, so you have a stronger base. You're building on the same base. 2 is working from 1. We can work on 3, so that all 3 of these can come together. We'll figure that out and put that together. Like you're explaining to them, like, you got to do the first part. And once the first part's okay, all right, then that's stable. Leave that alone. Go on to 2. We're fixing 2, but 1 and 2 work together. We'll keep these together the same way. Let's work on 3. All right, and remember, we're going to make 3 not only work out on its own, but they're going to also build on 1 and 2. All right, so let's keep going like that. I feel like you're not only helping them fix each section, but you're helping them meld them together so that there's more congealing of experiences or potential or effort. You're helping them like work it together better. I feel like this is kind of like almost locking together like a puzzle in a sense, making it work out better. And you're helping them. I feel like some of this has to go a little faster than you might like. I feel like you might step in a little quickly on some situations because you feel like you have to. I'm getting some fast movement on your side, in the sense of like whatever these red flags are. I feel like when you see something that's really off, or like you're noticing something, like you're quick to address it, because you're seeing like a train wreck potential here, and you're just like, wait, no, slow down, because I'm seeing something here. You got to stop this now. You gotta back off from that because this isn't going well. I feel like you're keeping an eye on this situation the best you can, and there's some quick movements on your side just to like keep up with the situation, to keep your eye on it. I do feel like you're pulling some of the weight for them, but it's because something is wrong on their side. Like there's fatigue or malnourishment, something. I feel like you have to step in. And because of the way you feel about them, it's not like it's a problem. I don't feel like it's a problem at all. But I feel like there's like this obligation, like if I don't step in, and like I feel like there's some quick movements on your side to get in there and fix things or take care of things, or just some of it you pick up and do yourself. It's kind of like a for now type feeling, but I feel like it's also like you feel like you have to. Because it's like it's going to slide backwards quite quickly if you don't. Okay. I'm also getting on their side, like they're feeling like things are... The 6 of Rods usually is a success card. This is the victory after the fight. That's usually how I take this card. In this situation, I feel like they're thinking that they've overcome the situation. I don't know about that, though. I feel like that's how they're taking it. What's below this? Whatever these red flags are, this isn't over. The fatigue, whatever it is, that's not over. So I feel like the way they're looking at this, like they've succeeded, they've moved past it. I just feel like it's a good moment, and like you're helping them, and they're feeling stronger and happier because you're helping them. I don't think they're realizing that this is still something that's ongoing. Either that, or they're thinking it's not going to be difficult again from here on out. But they have to stay on the ball. They really have to stay on the ball, and I feel like you're probably going to be a motivator to make sure they do. But I almost feel like they're taking this moment of relaxation, which is good, but I feel like they're looking at it like they've succeeded, and I just don't feel like it's over. The situation as a whole, I feel like they're still not making good decisions. Whatever's going forward here, like you're helping things correct and you're helping them rebuild, and they're doing well with that, and they're following your lead and they're doing what you say, I feel like. But But I don't feel like this. I feel like there's an erratic behavior here. There's a fatigue factor here. But the question is, why is the fatigue happening? I almost feel like they're fixing situations, but the base or wherever this problem is originating from is still ongoing. Okay. They're forging ahead, and I feel like you're helping them forge ahead. In this reading, the Queen of Pentacles makes me feel like this is the cooperative effort between you and them. There's a lot of care between you and this person, and they value you. They definitely value you. So they're listening to what you say, and they're going forward like you're telling them to. I feel like you're picking up a bit of the pieces, though, at this point. I feel like you're also... I don't feel like you're also, like... I feel like you're being very lighthearted with them about it, because I do feel like whatever the situation is with these red flags, you have compassion for it. And you feel like they're doing the best they can right now. I also feel like you're letting them feel like they succeeded. It's important to you for some reason that they have this breath of fresh air, this good moment, that they feel good about themselves. And I feel for that reason, you're letting them feel like, yes, you've succeeded, you're doing well now, everything's fine. Because I feel like you're picking up the pieces, though. And it makes you feel a lot better that you feel they're doing a lot better because of this. The playfulness is on your side. I feel like you're trying to bring a little bit of joy into the situation, but I do feel like you're quite aware that this is not over yet. But you're letting them have that moment of relaxation and to step away from it. If they want to believe it's over or that they've moved past it, that's fine, but I feel like you're watching from the outside. I feel like you're aware that this situation is not over, but you're in it for the long haul, and whatever you need to do to make this situation succeed, you're going to do that. Okay, so I feel like from the beginning of the situation to the end, in this segment, you come into it really worried that this is really a train wreck and you're just going to watch it happen. But you get involved, you sit them down, you work through it, and I feel like you're making this go a lot better. By the time it gets to the end, you're very well aware that the situation is not over, but your cooperative effort with them to keep it going and to help them succeed, it's going to work out. I feel like it's going to work out, but it's your involvement that makes it work out. I don't feel like it's as bad as you thought in the beginning. It turns out not nearly as bad as you originally thought, but I feel like you're also, by the time you get to the end of this, you're feeling like the reason it's not going to completely be a train wreck is because of your involvement. You're aware of it. I don't feel like there's any gloating about it or anything like that. It's just you're very aware of it because it's the truth. If you didn't get in there and handle this could have been a really bad train wreck, and I feel like you're kind of in it to win it in the sense of like you're going through to the end of this because you're going to make sure that they make it out. I also feel like they're kind of looking at you as the reason this is like now that you're involved, they feel like they're going to succeed. They're going to be okay. This is another piece of this card I feel like is coming through right now. Because of your involvement, they feel like they're going to be okay. It's going to work out at some point or another. They're going to correct this, or they're going to beat this, whatever the problem is, because of you, because you're helping them. It just made it a lot easier for them, and they feel like they can do this now. They feel like they can do this now. So, I feel like the situation at this part, when this reading's over, it's not over, but you've given this person help, and you're helping and you're moving it forward. I feel like there's still an uncovering about what's actually happening here. There's more unearthing about these red flags. I feel like the fatigue keeps coming back. And it's because when I get to this card, I literally feel like right here on my face, like something pulling me down. Like I want to sleep type feel. Which, I mean, it doesn't happen with the other cards, otherwise I would think it was just me being fatigued. But it's this one card which I'm going to throw across the room because I'm sick of feeling like that in a minute. Anything else I missed here? You're having a profound effect, that's for sure. Capricorns aren't usually one to shy away from a bit of work anyway. They're not ones to shy away from helping family or getting in there, or whoever's close to you, whoever it is, they're not ones to shy away from a struggle, the ones that I'm aware of. So this isn't really that shocking, but I do feel like when you start it, you're very, very worried, and when you're moving out of this time frame, whatever's going on here, you're feeling a lot better because you're feeling like you have more control and you can keep an eye on it and help this person get through this successfully. And they're feeling like they can do this now. I feel in the beginning they were afraid it was going to do them in, but at the end of this, they're feeling like they're going to make it. It's just your involvement is helping them organize and helping them go one foot in front of the other. They're feeling a lot better about it. I feel like they're almost elated, to tell you the truth, like they've beaten it. Although I just feel like I need to address that whatever the situation is, this fatigue feeling, which this card I'm going to turn over now, it's still going on after this time frame. Like they're still battling this fatigue. Okay. Anything else? Codependency. Did I say codependency in this one? Alright, so codependency, past life relationship, and what was the last one? Optimistic about your love life. Staying optimistic. I feel like they need you, and there's a codependent thing here. I feel like you need them too. Codependency, you usually wouldn't think that was a good thing, but in this situation, I feel like that's how. I don't feel bad about it. I don't feel like it's like there's something that needs to be addressed, but I feel like there's a codependent situation. Excuse me. The past life for this, I really feel like there's a deep connection with you and this person, which the Lover's card, I was thinking that anyway. I feel like that's more what this is talking about. The past life, it just means that there's a very, very strong bond between you and this person, and you have no problem being there for them. And I feel like your involvement helps you feel a lot better, helps them feel a lot better. It creates that optimism. I feel like you're creating that optimism with your involvement. Wow, I'm going on a half an hour now. Okay, I'm going to stop this now before I just drone on for the rest of my life. If you'd like a reading from me, go ahead, shoot me an email, james4astral@gmail.com, james4astral@gmail.com. Thank you very much for watching.